This is my interpersonal communication project by Priscilla Poirier. This fulfills the requirements for Class Human Services 508 through Liberty University. Hi, my name is Priscilla Poirier. This is my 6th year with Liberty University. I have an associate's and bachelor's degree in psychology. Upon completing these 2 classes, I will be 2 classes away from having a master's in marriage and family counseling. I have obtained all of my degrees from Liberty University online. This is my interpersonal communication project. This will give an overarching goal for my life. I will be describing my personality and how it affects my conversation patterns. Finally, I will give a plan of action as to how I will improve my interpersonal communication skills. Intercommunication is defined as to communicate mutually between one another. These are both the spoken and unspoken messages that one puts off. Stewart labels interpersonal communication as continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. Stewart gives 6 features of communication. These include meaning, choice, culture, identities, conversation, and nexting. My overarching goal for my life is to be able to effectively and empathetically communicate with children and families where the child has or has had a chronic illness. There are several characteristics that help one enlarge their conversation. Horsfall lists these characteristics as creativeness, intuition, imagination, wisdom, and performance. In order for one to enlarge a conversation, they must be able to identify the areas in which their communication skills need to be practiced. Being able to be an effective listener is a key aspect to communication. Burley Allen states that it is a myth that only the talker exhibits power. He also lists the different types of listeners. These include the faker, the dependent listener, the interrupter, the self-conscious listener, and the intellectual or logical listener. There are 4 personality temperaments listed in Carbonell's text. People can have aspects from multiple or all of the 4 listed temperaments. The combination of the 4 creates each person's unique personality characteristics. These 4 temperaments include active task-oriented, active people-oriented, passive task-oriented, and passive people-oriented. I have multiple traits from all 4 of the personality temperaments. My traits from active task-oriented are driven and determined. My traits from active people-oriented are interactive and interested in people. My traits from passive task-oriented are cautious, compliant, careful, and contemplative. And my traits from passive people-oriented are shy, servant, and submissive. There are both positive and negatives to my personality blend that affect my conversations. Some positive being submissive and compliant make me easier to get along with. Being contemplative enables me to see all aspects of a conversation prior to responding or making a decision. And being interested in people helps me to be a more social person. There are also negatives. Some negatives include being driven and determined can make me appear overbearing and make hasty decisions at times. Being shy at times makes it difficult to interact with others. And finally, being dominating makes me difficult to be with at times. There are several aspects of my background that affect my communication skills. I had complete failure of both kidneys when I was 5 years old and a kidney transplant when I was 8. I spent a majority of those 3 years in the hospital. Also, I was on dialysis for those whole 3 years. I have been in and out of the hospital since. I have had over 30 surgeries between the age of 5 and 22. However, having been through such a great amount at such a young age, this has left me lacking in the conversation skill of empathy. By the age of 12, I had come to the conclusion that I wanted to be able to go back and work at the hospital where I had spent so much of my childhood. I have a great love for children and would love to be able to help those children who have illnesses. For this class, I took a self-assessment test available on Discovery Communication online. My score was 54 of 100. The comment that came along with my score stated, "According to your score on this test, your communication skills are average, leaving plenty of room for improvement. You're scored somewhat in the middle of the communication scale. Not picture perfect, but not at the bottom of the barrel either. You already have some skills and have shown the potential to master the communication process. However, some time and concentrated effort is needed to develop these abilities even farther. Communication plays a significant role in the impression you make on others. It also influences the self-esteem, assertiveness, and social adjustment. If you want to reach your full communication potential, all it takes is a little know-how and effort. Like most things in life, practice makes perfect, and you're already halfway there." I also took a second self-assessment test. This one stated that I was slightly extrovert, slightly sensing personality, slightly feeling personality, and distinctly judging personality. Peterson lists several potential barriers that are possible through communication. Some that apply to me are reading too much into a conversation, hearing what I think someone means instead of what they really said, tuning people out if I already know what they are saying, and talking without accusing, attacking, labeling, or judging is something I need to practice. There are some solutions to internal and external noises. External noises can be distracting for all parties involved in the conversation. When engaging in a conversation, the people involved should try to find a room where the door can be shut to block out any possible external noises. This will remove possible noise distractions and allow parties to get the most possible out of the conversation. Also, by being in a shut-off room, this can reduce for possible internal distractions as well. Giving the person or people involved in the conversation your full attention will also reduce internal distractions. My plan of action is to improve my empathetic communication skills and learn to not only effectively communicate with children, but to also communicate with parents as well. I know that at times an illness can be more difficult on the parents than the child. I would like to be there for the child and the parents to discuss their feelings and also help guide them through this difficult time. Whether this phase of their lives lasts a short time or an extended amount of time, it is all painful and stressful for all parties involved.